So I have access to a lot of streaming services, right? I don't buy any of them, but I have access to quite a few. And I remember y'all telling me about that Jupiter thing. Was that on Netflix? Because I was looking at Netflix the other day, and either I didn't see it or I was looking at the wrong place. Okay, I must have just been looking at the wrong part of Netflix then. So I definitely took a peek on there, and the only stuff I saw involved um involved their like, hey, this came this week stuff.
Give him hell, director.
I must have just not looked in the right spot. Oh,
There was something there, reaching for her.
hi, Alan Wake.
It was a distress call. Faden sensed a drowning man.
Apparently, Alan Wake is writing about me now. Uh-oh.
Investigation sector.
Investigation sector, huh?
Uh-oh.
Check this out.
Definitely still in there. I don't doubt you. I must have just, when I took that little peek, I wasn't like looking carefully. I opened up Netflix and was like, what was I supposed to look for again? And I didn't see anything that jumped out at me as the thing I was supposed to look for. And instead said, oh, some of these other things came out apparently. Alright, why not? Oh, I'm gonna sneeze. I remembered to mute, so y'all didn't just have to hear me super loudly sneeze into my mic.
Hello? Anyone here?
Hello?
Guess not.
Jupiter's Legacy, that's what it was.
Seems a lot more crowded than the rest of the bureau.
Darling investigation. Per authorization from Mr. Kirkland, internal investigation D0845 was launched into the ethical practices of Dr. Casper Darling, head of research. Despite the accounts of anonymous blank regarding inhumane treatment of a blank currently housed in the Bureau, our official findings regarding this were inconclusive. Numerous obstacles arose during this investigation. The majority of blank sector personnel seem to be wholly unaware of any such blank contained there. One blank confirmed the blank's code name to be blank, but all files pertaining to that name were inaccessible, being classified under the highest clearance level. Investigators were similarly blocked from entering the blank research wing to interview its staff. The matter was further complicated by the lack of clarity on whether non-human paranatural entities warrant humane treatment. While this investigation cannot address any charges against Darling, we do recommend investigation into blank research. It's telling me I'm gonna have to fight a non-human para-utilitarian? Who's in tight? Thank you. I think Northmore is the energy core. Willow. Mr. Dennis. A request came through recently from an FBI agent asking for all our files on Bright Falls, specifically the disappearance of the author Alan Wake. Per the Interagency Information Exchange Agreement, I had some paper pushers gather up a folder of all the pre-approved files. Don't worry, all the inappropriate material is either missing or redacted. But I'm writing to let you know that we received this request from a special agent named Alex Casey. Sounds familiar, right? That's because Alex Casey is the name of the fictional detective in those hard-boiled crime books Alan Wake wrote. Pretty interesting that an FBI agent sharing a name with the most famous character Wake wrote is looking into a case dealing with a writer's fiction coming true. I think this is worth looking into, but what's your opinion? Just give the word and I'll start surveillance on this guy. I mean, we probably should have. I hope we did. Northmore sarcophagus container? Yeah, that makes sense. I don't know if I was supposed to do that. What's that powering? Well, I broke the lights anyway. Stuff on the floor! Mr. Kirkland. Here are the latest agents confirmed missing, presumably dead from containment breach yesterday. Jonathan Connor, Ezra Cruz, Caroline Dempsey, Lindsay Malcolm, Charles Murray, Derek Shaw. Letters of condolence will be delivered to you to sign prior to sending them to their families. You'll be updated as soon as additional confirmations are made. Also, per your request, a network engineer checked how many cases were backed up digitally. Unfortunately, a large number of active investigations were not archived yet, and the only hard copies of reports exist behind the fire break. They're lost, I'm afraid. Oh no! Stuff! Mr. Kirkland! We stopped at Keystone on our way to the target Awe. Like you asked, I'm sending my report directly to you to try to keep a lid on this Grumman/Morales dissertation issue. Oh, excuse me, had a little burp. We didn't find any sign of them here. Given their records, it is possible they've switched teams, like you suspected. But I don't think that is the case. An event definitely occurred here in Keystone, and I think Grumman and Morales got caught up in it. The entire population has vanished into thin air. Reminds me of the Ordinary case. But that was just the adults, if I'm remembering the file correctly. This is different. I think our guys are casualties, not traitors. If it wasn't AWE, it seems to be over. We walked through the whole town, and the only strange thing we noticed were markings on various buildings. 2 overlapping circles with a dotted line in the shared space. Could be unrelated. I'll show you the picture when I get back. In the meantime, you should send a team out here to cordon this place off. My brain skipped. To cordon this place off, and maybe get the comms guys working on a cover story. Thanks, Agent Keenum. Ah, different battery. What does this one connect to? Burrow tractor. No miscommunication led to local coroner examining the body. Uh-oh. Case summary. 33-year-old man found dead on his property per police report. Remains obtained for a coroner's office also include blood, urine, bile, stomach contents, and bone fragments. Blunt force injury to head. Lacerations left ear, cheek. Blunt force injuries, extremities. Dislocated right knee. Complete avulsion of the right upper extremity with associated fracture of the proximal right humerus. Extensive trauma, abdominal region. complete avulsion of multiple organs, including stomach, heart, liver, pancreas, kidneys, and portion of large and small intestine, all missing from scene. Conclusion. It's my opinion that Mr. Burroughs' death is not the result of a mechanical accident, as claimed by authorities. The removal of organs is consistent with an animal attack. Okay. Okay, this is what that thing is gonna power.
Probably a loose power.
So we'll be over there at a certain point. Blank of blank 2019, to whom it may concern, it is with great anger and regret that I tender my resignation as head of investigations for the Federal Bureau of Control. I do this in protest of the rampant disregard for my department's blank. My staff cannot continue to work in these conditions. Previous requests and warnings have fallen on deaf ears, so I must now rely on my actions to speak louder than my words ever could. I blame this situation on our blank, who has routinely ignored my requests for assistance in reclaiming the parts of the investigations sector lost to the blank loose inside. I will never forget the screams of brave agents begging for us to open the firebreak. I will carry that shame for the rest of my days. The blank has failed this agent. The blank has failed his agents, I'm assuming director. I shall never forgive him for that. Sincerely, William Kirkland.
Somewhere.
There are just so many files in this area. Oh my god. Staffing issue. Mr. Dennis. So yes, there's an increase in AWE cases, and yes, it would be a good idea to put together a special task force to examine exactly why that is. However, it seems that a tiny detail has slipped through the cracks. We don't have any damn staff. If you expect us to detect, investigate, and process more AWE cases, you need to give us more people. It's simple math. Between the staff we lost in the Hartman thing and the ones who left for other departments after Kirkland quit, we're barely managing to keep up with the workload. Hell, just filing the paperwork for all the altered items we left behind in this sector has been an ordeal. Another thing, and this is going to sound paradoxical, but we have an overcrowding situation. This lobby isn't meant to accommodate a whole sector's worth of staff. We put forward a motion to move investigations to a more suitable location months ago. It better not still be sitting on your desk. People are getting restless, and as Kirkland's interim replacement, it's your job to handle it. Best regards, Agent Grayson. This department really seems like it just kind of got, I guess, screwed over. I don't really know how else to put it. Oh my god, more! I'm just getting so front-loaded with all the backstory for this area. Dr. Raya Underhill is a professor at the University of Woodrow in the United Kingdom, where she teaches biology with a focus on botany. Dr. Underhill once worked with the Bureau as a parabotanist stationed in the research sector of the oldest house. We know Underhill, she's the fungus lady. She's annoying. She served with no incidents or demerits and is praised by those who formerly worked with her, including Dr. Darling. Dr. Underhill has no known connections to paracriminal organizations or any record of breaching her NDAs since leaving the Bureau. Her civilian behavior has been ideal, with the exception of an ongoing personal relationship with Dr. Darling that appears to have begun during their time as co-workers in the research sector and revisited intermittently ever since. Depending on the duration of her work in the oldest house, it may be required to have both parties sign a relationship clearance form. This investigation has found no compelling reason to deny Dr. Darling's request to offer Dr. Underhill an interim position with the aim of finding a solution to the mold threshold issue. More official warning. Kirkland! I'm growing tired of your blatant attempts to lay your incompetence at my doorstep. I know you want this to be true, But you are head of investigations. This failure is your responsibility. What did you think would happen holding a dangerous specimen in investigations? The containment sector exists for a reason. They are better trained and better equipped for this type of work. In fact, they have admirably taken on certain AWE monitoring responsibilities that your staff are no longer capable of. This happens more and more now. And I don't think your petty internal investigations have gone past my notice. You are a worm. Everything I've done has been for the benefit of the Bureau. The Prime Candidate program only failed because of Darling. You are both failures, plotting against me. You are traitors, but the truth will emerge out of you. You are choosing to become my enemy, Kirkland. You don't want to be. Dang. Director Trench. Stuff. From Candidate Program, per authorization from Mr. Kirkland, Internal Investigations P-1429 was launched into the legality of the Prime Candidate Program, blank, by the Federal Bureau of Control. Since all known subjects relevant to the investigation used executive privilege to decline interviews, very little first-hand information was gathered. However, anonymous sources and documentation declassified by Mr. Kirkland both paint an alarmingly clear picture of systemic blank and blank. Blank were brought to the oldest house and placed under blank examination and testing with the aim of appointing one as director upon maturity. The program has produced no successful cases and only resulted in the traumatic blank of paranaturally inclined blank. Not only is this in breach of the Ash Act, but it flies in the face of basic human blank. This investigation team unequivocally blank the Prime Candidate Program and recommends that it be blank immediately. I think we know the general gist of what is wanted there. Ay. Burrow tractor. A Frank Elk tractor. Olive green. Dried blood on the grill when last seen. Item is capable of vocalizing responses or growls and unmanned locomotion. Considered highly aggressive and dangerous. The item first came to the Bureau's attention after the death of William Burrow, owner of the Burrow farm outside of Trenton, Texas. Local authorities arrived on the scene after an employee found the mutilated body of Mr. Burrow beneath his tractor. The tractor ate his bits? Oh my god. Police arrived, but were immediately driven away by the tractor. Panicked calls to federal authorities were intercepted by the Bureau communications staff. Team was dispatched. Upon arrival, the agents approached the item and responded by growling like a bear. 3 agents were injured when they tried to detain the item, which escaped. Aerial searches for the item are ongoing. Speaking to Miss Burrow, only revealed that she had a domestic altercation with Mr. Burrow earlier the night of the incident. Whether these events are connected is currently unknown. Okay. I think that's everything. Took a bit, but I think that's everything.
Now that gate should open.
Now we get to move on. Maybe we'll get a little action instead of just reading, huh?
I'm no detective, but something definitely happened here.
Really? You're no detective, but you figured all that out. Their criminal profile, the Blessed Organization. This group/individual has operated outside of Bureau's notice for decades, perhaps longer, displaying a level of skill and caution rarely seen in paracriminal groups. A review of the past cases has found various mentions of their activity over the years. In 2016, a production company called Blessed Pictures was connected to an altered item case, as well as the death of an agent from exposure to illicit paranatural materials. In 1994, a Los Angeles-based public speaker named Chester Bless was involved in the illegal use of an altered item. In 1988, a business called Blessed Repair and Service was suspected of involvement with an object of power case, perhaps even creating it. None of these businesses or individuals have ever been located. However, their connection to appearances of altered items and objects of power is too direct to be considered circumstantial. An arrest order has been issued for any persons believed to be involved with the Blessed Organization. Huh.
Do we know each other?
Oh?
This feels familiar.
Hey, Alan Wake. And hey, Bruce Wayne Brady. And Dennis. Thank you so much for the raid. Let me give you a shout out. Hi, everybody. You're here for early parts of the Alan Wake connected DLC for Control. Hi, everyone. I'm That Neil J. I'm a variety streamer. Every Monday, 6 p.m. Pacific, I do my Let's Play Mondays. I'm not totally sure what's happening here. Is that Mr. Scratch? We enjoy Alan Wake games, so getting this finally is weird.
I'm your friend Tom. Tom Zane.
Oh, that's supposed to be Zane?
There's nothing to worry about.
Tom. The poet. The diver. You look different.
That was just a role.
Let me see if I can...
The protagonist I played.
I'm afraid of tabbing out to give you this shout out, Bruce. I will get it to you. I just want to make sure the cutscene's over first, so tabbing out doesn't accidentally skip it.
On this together, remember?
Because I'm afraid of doing that. How's Control going? Well, we're jumping into the second DLC, big DLC.
You need a drink.
That is like big and Alan Wake connected. Hi, Dr. Darling. Also the last DLC, to the best of my knowledge. Last week we got a little bit disheartened by not beating the first one, which we just finished a little bit ago now. We didn't beat the first DLC last week because I had a crash that lost like 45 minutes of progress. It didn't take 45 minutes to get through it again, but it was rough and meant that we didn't finish last week.
I don't...
Oh my god! Dennis gifting Bruce a sub. Thank you so much.
There's something.
I really appreciate it. And welcome, Bruce. Now you get to use the Tuckles emote if you want.
Nothing to worry about. I'm dealing with it. It's fine, my friend. Let me
Okay, but
handle
what
it.
is happening here?
You met him? What the hell?
Now, come
Alan
on.
Wake is mad.
You misunderstand me.
Oh, it was a non-triangle door that opened up there.
That was Alan Wake, the writer who went missing in that AWE case I read about.
That was Alan Wake, you're right. Okay, here we go. Let me give you that shout out. Anyway, Unified Streamers, there we go. Thank you, Streamlabs. Unified Streamers, for those of you who don't know, is a wonderful streaming community. I am so happy to be a part of it with all these wonderful people that
Thomas Zane?
I get to talk to, hang out with,
The poet.
go and
No,
visit
wait.
sometimes in their
He was
streams.
looking for,
Both of them, I should give Dennis a shout out here too, honestly. Both of these people and so many more of the awesome people in that community are really just wonderful people that I love being able to help support in whatever little way I can. So if y'all are not already following these people, supporting these people in whatever way you are comfortable and able to, you should go give them some looks and say hi to them. How are the two of you doing? I know Mondays are Maple Night fights for y'all. Which fighting game were you guys playing today? I had a power outage in my building this afternoon, so I was a little bit behind on my normal having some time before my stream to go and hang out with you. I usually try to find a little time to jump in there and say hi. Had some Blaze Blue Cross Tag. Ooh, okay. I played Blaze Blue Cross Tag, or some Blaze Blue, at an arcade a really long time ago before I even really knew how to play, frankly, any fighting games. I played some lady that had like, some lady that had a staff and ended up being a puppet character, and I had no idea what I was doing. It did not work out super well for me. This one's your fave, as characters from RWB. Oh, yes, that one. Okay, I know the one you're talking about now.
Devoured by hungry darkness.
Hi, Alan Wake.
Thing that had been Hartman
That game,
broke loose.
is that the one where you can play as like a giant tank as one of the fighting characters? Is that game?
A resonance.
The hilarious tank character
Went through another change.
with like a big skull on its shotgun or whatever? So weird. Yeah, the tank. Anyone maining the tank? Alright, where am I going here? Wait, what? Oh. Oh boy. We're somewhere alright. Oh, I thought I was the yellow dot. No, I'm on the bottom. I'm way down there. Okay. Takes up most of the screen. None of you are maining him, but one of your friends loves seeing it. Fair. I am one of the friends who loves seeing it too. To be entirely honest. I guess I'm supposed to jump over there? Where one of those flashy, terrible things is. Hi, flashy, terrible thing. I'm gonna go way over here if you don't mind. And then I'm gonna leave. Ba, ba, ba. If there's anything on this side, I should check. I bet there's not. Oh, there's blood. Oh. Oh, someone got, crushed. Okay. Makes me feel a little less comfortable out going through these doors that I've gone through so many times before. It's fine then.
Be damp and abandoned.
High investigation sector. Ah!
Why did
Where the heck did you come from? Okay. I'm the director. The house is not going to hurt me. You love the aesthetic of this game? Is this the Alan Wake? This is the Alan Wake DLC we're in now, yeah. Which, like, the whole game definitely exists in the world of Alan Wake. Even the base game has a bunch of like these things, like reports and stuff that reference Alan Wake. But this DLC, from what I know about it, is a lot more directly linked to Alan Wake. Do I know anything about the whole Yakuza Judgment thing? What is happening? Guess I'll just walk through.
Doesn't look like a house shift. Do I even want to know?
What is happening here? What a weird hallway. I do know a little bit about it. I can't remember the guy's name right now off the top of my head, but the actor whose likeness is used for the main character in Judgment is like his agency or whatever. Johnny's apparently is what they're called. Really don't like their people's likenesses to be on the internet. And so they don't want PC versions of Judgment games. And Sega is like, okay, but PC is a big market for us. So we want them to have PC versions. And it is pretty dumb. The wild thing is apparently this, like, agency, Johnny's, apparently they didn't even have a YouTube channel until, like, 2018 or something. Which is like, how the fuck do they represent media people and not have a media presence? It is so weird. Actors agency is super strict, yeah. Alright. Hello. My feet gossip at night. And now I have to wear shoes to bed. Sincerely, me. Okay. We read that one forever ago. There's a bunch of little red dots that I'm not clearing now because there's stuff I picked up and read last week before the progress loss. I'm just breaking stuff. Let me through, please. My feet gossip at night. They're extremely controlling. Yeah. For lack of a better word. And like, okay. There's a part of me that gets it a little bit. With the way that 3D renders of people, like how good those can be now. Like we saw some of this with, what was that fucking game? It was the guy that did Heavy Rain. But it had, Elliot Page in it. Elliot Page and Willem Dafoe. It was not Detroit. It was not Heavy Rain. It was the other one. Beyond Two Souls. Thank you. I know Beyond Two Souls had a bunch of controversy about it because, you know, there's like a full body model of Elliot Page in that game that people were then like taking out of that game and like looking at and doing weird shit with. And so, like, there's a part of me that you look at that kind of thing, and as an agency that maybe has a bunch of rights about the likeness of this person, has all these kinds of things, like, I get it. They don't want a really high-res body model thing getting out of that person to be used for whatever. But, you know, I'm not sure if that is the reason, but, like, it is a reason I understand. But consoles are also open to the point now where staying off of PC doesn't really fix that anymore, like it maybe once did.
This darkness is blocking the door, so now I have to deal with an interdimensional noise.
Oh, I actually have to do the
sentient
darkness
shadows.
stuff from Alan Wake, huh? That's kind of funny. I'll shine some lights, I guess.
Light burns it away, huh? Makes sense.
Anyway, but yeah, being in video games at all, consoles are too open. That doesn't really fix that. And yes, that company is like way more extreme about it than just that. They, like you said, will blur or force censorship of their actors' images online at publications that are not their own, basically. All kinds of weird stuff. They are strict beyond anything else in a really wild way. Okay, maybe I don't need this light. What's going on in here? Oh, it's mold. Hi, mold. Haven't seen mold in a while. Oh, it's pretty moldy back here, huh? I don't know if I am gonna get a side mission to clear this mold or not, but I feel like I should, you know? If I see it, why not get rid of it? Any other mold chunks? I think I got them. Alright, man. Gonna lurk for a bit. Have a good stream. Thank you again so much for the raid. I do really appreciate it. And I hope you have a good rest of your night. Whether you're lurking with me or whatever else you gotta do. Take a shower or something. It's been hot, man. It just never feels like it cools down for me anymore at night again. Admittedly, did I say Hitman? I stay warm at pretty low temperatures. Like, it's been cooling off. It's been like 18-ish at night, which isn't terrible, but that's still too hot for me to feel super comfortable. I slept on top of all my sheets and covers yesterday instead of in them because it was too hot. And I kind of hate doing that, you know? I really prefer to sleep in my covers.